What's up guys, welcome to Bullish Bets. On this channel, we cover all things related to stocks and investing. We take a look at news where we can make some potential big bets with huge upsides. In this video, we're going to dive in and talk about Ford. Before we get started, keep in mind that we are not financial advisors, and this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Make sure you do your own research before making any investment decision. Alright, so let's get started. So when people think about Ford, they think about a dinosaur company and think about a company that used to make great cars, but not so much today. There's this narrative around them that they're a failing company and they're gonna go obsolete when it comes to competing with cars like Tesla and NIO and the new EV market. But now they're getting back into the game. They started to turn the tables around and make strides to the new economy. Now, they recently released the Ford Mustang Mach-E, showing that they're willing to step into the breach and get into the EV space, and they're not afraid to make huge investments. And it shows. Ford recently committed $29 billion to put into the EV and self-driving car space. They're willing to adapt to the times and to new cars that will potentially be the new economy. They want this new multiple, and they want to be deemed as new and hot and attractive to the younger audience that wrote them off. And with this recent release of the Mustang Mach-E, it really shows that. It's a great car selling around $42,000 MSRP, and it has the speed of the EV going at 0 to 60 at a 3.5 seconds with a 300-mile battery range, which is pretty great, to be honest, compared to the EV space. If you look at it, this car is sleek, it's good looking, and I'm not surprised if people want to jump on this ship and get this car. I personally, after doing some research, believe this is a great exterior body, and the interior body seems to be good too. And they have the money to constantly improve and make changes to the EV market. And this is just their first full, if you look at their site, their first full electrified car. This is the all-electric car they have, and the rest are hybrids and plug-in hybrids. Although they only have one complete EV, they're slowly moving into the space. Not everyone can adapt right away from oil combustion to straight into electric vehicles, and they're helping some people transition who aren't the early adapters, like the people who bought Tesla right away. And not only the fact that they're getting to the EV space, there seems to be a huge demand for it. If you look in this recent news that came out in February, Ford sold 3,739 Mustang Mach-E's, and they sold a total of 9,267 units of EV and hybrids combined, and this was a 50% increase from a year ago in February. And this shows that they're moving in the right direction. People are giving them a chance, and they're not going away. And there's a huge upside to it. What's crazy about the selling out of the new Ford is the fact that they only planned on making 50,000 Mach-E's this year, and they sold 3,700. And if you analyze it, that's around 50,000 cars already, and they're on the track to sell 50,000. Although 50,000 isn't a lot, what really shows that Ford is strong and there's a huge demand for it is that it takes only 4 days to turn over, and that means people are buying these cars once it hits the lot, and people are asking for it, and the demand for this car shows that there's a huge potential upside to Ford. On top of that, the recent news that Ford is going to be very big in the EV space in the future in government contracts, as they're rumored to be the the engine manufacturers for Oshkosh, who recently won the USPS contract that everyone's going crazy about because Workhorse didn't get it. But Ford seems to be going the right space, getting to the EV deals, and there's no turning back. And compared to today, the market has been down greatly for the EV space, but Ford has been holding strong. If we take a look at all this EV watch list, Nikola, QuantumScape, Workhorse, Ride, Fisker, Lee, CCIV, Neo, Tesla, they're all down by more than, like, on average 6%, but Ford has been holding strong, and they're up almost close to 1%. The markets were bouncing back up during the time I was recording this. The rest of these stocks were a low of negative 14%, negative 10%, and so forth. But Ford maintained this strong positioning, meaning that they have a great business currently, and they're just looking to expand into the EV space. This makes them a very low risk play with huge potential upside. So if let's look at the statistics for Ford and their enterprise value and so forth. Currently enterprise value for Ford is 146 billion, and they're 160 billion, and their calculated Ford price to earnings based off Thomas Reuters is at 10.64, and their enterprise to EBITDA is around 19.97. This really doesn't mean much unless we compare it to Tesla. From the same analysts, the Ford PE for Tesla is at 175, and the enterprise value per EBITDA is 161. This shows that compared to Ford, Tesla is valued at a very high multiple, and if depending on how you want to view it, is Tesla going to go down or is Ford going to go up to equalize the valuation? Tesla can potentially go up more, but doesn't that mean Ford deserves a new valuation? And doesn't that mean that there's huge potential for gains by investing in Ford right now? If you look at it, Ford right now is at $12.10, and the high was back in 1999, where it was $31.39. But the low of this year was close to $4. Although it's making strides, it's 3 times what it was in the beginning of the year, beginning of last year. Still has a lot of room to grow if we look at just Ford PE price to earnings compared to Tesla. In our opinion, we think it's a great play, as the Ford new vehicle is extremely sleek looking, and it just looks really nice. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Ford is able to reinvent itself and compete with Tesla, or do you think they're too late into the game and they're miles behind and not even worth the investment? That's it for this video. If you liked our content, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We would really appreciate it, as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.